Welcome back to another episode of the Weekly DLC. I'm one of your hosts, Kurosh, joined always by my co-host, Daniel Vargas.
Inflation.
And Daniel Jang.
Buongiorno.
If you're not familiar with what we do, we come to you each and every week to podcasting services of your choice in the decade of the 2010s.
What?
And we talk about nerdy stuff, usually comics, books, games, everything in between. And we have fun. We hope you have fun with us. This is episode 151. It is the last episode of 2019, the last episode of the 2010s, last episode of the decade.
Damn.
It's crazy.
Let's get wild.
10 years.
Take your shirts off.
Wow.
It's hot in here.
It's getting hot.
Oh man, how was your guys' Christmas?
Hasn't happened yet.
So if you guys haven't listened to our last episode 150, we did best of 2019. We were recording the same time as that to get it all out of the way for the holidays.
So we have our holidays.
So we enjoy our holidays. We have podcasts available for you to enjoy your holidays because what holiday is complete without a little bit of the weekly DLC, right? We're still enjoying our cookies, but we're also brought to you by beverages. Get yours however you want, wherever you want.
Wherever you want.
And use code THIRSTY DLC. And something should arrive, or you should just get it yourself if it doesn't.
And remember,
arrive in time.
kids, water is also a beverage.
Water is also a beverage. Stay hydrated, as some night bots will say.
Hydration bot will tell you.
Hydration bot, yeah. So we did, like I said, episode 150, the 150th weekly DLC. Was best of 2019. We did shows, movies, and games. We're now going into the best of the decade.
Last 10 years.
Last 10 years, same thing. Best shows, best movies, best games. And we're we played around with the format last time. For those of you that don't know, we're each going to go around going through our first 7.
Yep.
And then when we get to our final 3, we'll start rotating and just sharing. We're having a good time. And take a trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
So with that, let's dive right into it. TV shows of the last decade.
Let's do it. You want to start?
Sure.
Cool.
I didn't have that many because I don't watch that many shows.
Shit.
3? You just, but I don't have that because I don't have them.
This is tough. Okay, so
It's a nice case, by the way.
thank you. I like it because I liked seeing the because it's like the multicolored
Yeah.
background, but I wanted something that was less distracting because when I take photos of people, they're always like looking at it, and I'm like, fucking like, stop.
I like it because it takes like 6 months to get, you know?
Yeah, that too. It like really makes you like want it or not after so much time. I'm gonna say Westworld.
That's on my list.
I really liked how it took this form. It had elements of video games to it that I didn't expect, like the whole idea of NPCs, and it does like this really in-depth sci-fi show about it. The second season, is a little weirder, but like I like the way the storytelling is done. You don't quite understand what time or whether you're in the present, the past. Sort of, we were talking about that last episode about like how backtracking and showing flashbacks. This really messes with you, and like you don't know what is a flashback and what isn't, and that becomes an active element of the story in the first season. But like just like everything about it like make me think of video games and where we're headed with a lot of that stuff and what it means to be human, which is like a lot of cool storytelling with androids and all that stuff. So it's a good one. Legion, just because again you're gonna hear some repeats here. Legion, I just love how that one messes with like the psyche and the person in like multiple personalities and like what is in his head versus what is reality and all that craziness. It's wild. What We Do in the Shadows. This is the one that I had as is a small hint at my movies of the decade. This is one of the few things that is on both. It hits comedy.
That's when you were saying this.
Yeah, it hits comedy in a way that I love. Like that Taika Waititi touch, like is perfect in this stuff. The Leftovers.
Oh.
Because that was like what I wanted out of Lost, but more refined. It's like that mystery, that element of storytelling, the way things go. It's a thing that he's the creator of this, Damon Lindelof, did, where it's like he sneaks in a love story into his works, and like the way he does it, like it's gotten better every time. And I'm like, the way it's incorporated into Leftovers is one of my favorites.
Penny and Desmond.
It's one of the best. Yeah. Then I'm gonna say Parks and Recreation.
Oh yeah.
It started 2009, and I know we said decade, so like 29 to 2019 counts. But even if it didn't, 2010's on. It was the bulk of this show. It was one of the funniest like TV shows I didn't expect to be. I knew like it was like following The Office, and they're like, oh, it's gonna be The Office, but it became much more its own thing. And I think, how many more do we got? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gallivant.
I've never even heard of that.
It's only got 2 seasons. Then it got canceled or stopped or whatever. It's like fairy tale fantasy, but it's a musical, and it's 30-minute episodes. But like it is one of the funniest shows I've seen. Like it made me happy every time I watched it. I was like, this is just like positivity and joy.
What channel?
I think it was on USA, but it's on Netflix now. Like it came out originally on USA, but like both these seasons are on Netflix. Really funny. Vinny Jones is surprisingly funny. He has a story arc that is great. There's like a king in it who's very much like the king from the Robin Hood Disney movie.
Oh yeah.
And like it's like him in real life. Like it's perfect. That show makes me laugh, makes me happy. So so consistently. And then I'll do one more. This is tough, but so tough.
Trying to see which one isn't the top 3.
Well, I have picks, but I'm like, this is top 3.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say it now. I'll do Master of None.
Yes.
That was a show I didn't expect to be what it was, and the way it talked about relationships and like adulthood and just things that people go through now, like whether you're dealing with your parents,
Yeah.
or dealing with like trying to find partners and significant others and friendship. It just handled it in a way that was both sincere but like and genuine, but also like very creative and funny and like and good. So saving my top 3 for after that. But
So I'm gonna throw a few out there that I enjoyed this last decade, not including my top 3. So I've got Stranger Things.
just season 1?
Yeah, pretty much just season 1. You know, best season. I have Game of Thrones. That is not in my top 3, but it is within the 10 in the last decade. I've got The Walking Dead, specifically season 2, because that's all I saw.
I can't believe how much that show's changed.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah. Like I mean, I gotta say, like the beginning seasons were like crazy, and now it's gotten like political in a sense. Like it's gone from like a survival from the zombies to survival from people,
Yeah.
essentially. The worst monsters, you know.
Yeah.
I've got Westworld, which, I mean, this is like was skating on top 3. Really good show. That first season was fantastic. I saw season 1 the way I want Watchmen to have been. Like, it's just like I want that one season. I didn't need anything more. And then sure enough, we get season 2, and it wasn't as great. But not to say that it like ruins anything.
Yeah,
It was
it's just
like,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, Westworld's really good. I've got Master of None on here. That one I really enjoyed it because I think it's 2 seasons. And I super enjoyed season 1. Like season 1 was fantastic, easy to take in. Season 2, I don't know, he had like a
Really?
different style.
I really love season.
Yeah.
Season 2 is good.
I agree. It had a very different style, but like some of the episodes that stood out to me in season 2 really stood out. Like I loved the one where him and his friend are going to that wedding, I think, and like the camaraderie that they have. I'm like, I wanted that show to go in a direction it didn't go because of that episode. I was like, I want this episode to point out that you don't need a relationship. You don't need to like be in one when you have a friend, when you have friends that you can just enjoy right now. And it would be like a different take on that romantic stuff. But then also the speed dating one is one of my favorite ones where he's just like going through all these dates simultaneously.
The wrestler.
yeah.
Samosa Joe.
And then there was that one episode. Was it the second season, Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it is second season. Won an Emmy. That episode.
Nice.
The season one's fantastic though. Like,
Yeah.
it was so good.
Really, really good.
But still.
I've got Adventure Time.
Oh.
Really enjoyable. I mean, like, dude, this I think this whole decade, like, it's just there's specifically like Cartoon Network shows that have just like been killing it, dude. So many good ones. But if I gotta mention one, it's gotta be Adventure Time for me. And then I have, let me see, do I have one more? I said that one. I've got 1, 2, and 3. But I was gonna throw one more in there. Oh, and Black Mirror. Yeah, Black Mirror for this decade for me. Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, after episode 1, season 1, it's season 1, season 2, season 3, fantastic seasons, and then specifically those episodes.
Was the episode the Black Museum? Do you remember that one? It was like 3 short stories.
Oh,
That episode was
yeah.
wild. I mean, so many episodes are wild.
yeah, definitely. And that's it. Like, after that, I got my top 3.
Okay.
Number 10 is a reality game show type of show, The Amazing Race. I had to put it out there. They make them, I don't know, they really make them really well. And it's just like, I want to be on that show kind of. But, number 9, Walking Dead. Like season 4 and 5, I don't know. There was a point where it was just fucking good. It was better than Game of Thrones, in my opinion. And
It was up there with it. Like, I remember
Yeah.
every time those 2 shows came back, it was like neck and neck.
I used to have a coworker. We used to always discuss it, and well, he doesn't work there in the company, but that's what I miss discussing.
Was it Chris Hardwick?
Cancel culture.
Doesn't work anymore.
After that, Battlestar Galactica.
That came out this decade?
It did 2000.
Fuck, this changes everything.
2004, I think.
That's not this decade.
But wait, did it end? Wait. Hold on. Let me rewind.
It ended
rewind.
before the.
I did.
Cancel culture.
You're canceled, Jim.
Oh shit. When did it end though?
I don't even think it ended out after 2010.
Final episode date January 10, 2010. Boom.
All right, we'll allow it.
Will we? Cancel culture.
No. I'll skip it. Damn, I thought I said 2014, but I'm tripping out.
That's
Lost.
too funny.
That was. When did that end?
That started
That
in
didn't end.
2009, I think. No, I think you.
No, it was 2004.
Oh, let me
What was the last episode?
Last episode 2010. Let's go. Let's go. It was like May 2010. The last season of Lost. It was good. I loved it.
Okay.
I actually did like the last season. I like the ending of Lost.
I did too. I know. My family and I fought over that, and I was like, "Man, you guys."
I feel
suck."
like people who didn't like the last episode of Lost did not understand the last speech.
The last
that he
season of
made.
Lost.
The last
I love
speech.
that. Yeah, I love that stuff.
Number 4, Game of Thrones. Majority of it was good. It's just the last.
And its impact. I mean,
Last-
what it did for TV.
Did I say Game of Thrones in mine?
I don't know if it's in your top 3 or not.
Well, no, I had it in my under.
I don't remember.
The last 3 seasons were garbage, but
Should have been there.
first 4 seasons were
We got this though.
fuck, man. Master of None is my 4th place, and
Now we're top 3.
it's based off a book. The book is good. They expand upon the book on the show. Fantastic. Where's season 3? Aziz.
Where's the time fly?
Where's
It's with Half-Life 3.
Gabe?
Which is Half-Life
VR
Alyx.
Master of None.
Yeah. All right, top 3. Let's go around. Number 3, for me, it's tough.
Very tough.
Very tough. I'm gonna go Game of Thrones. I think it was what it did for like conversation, for water cooler moments, for just like fandom of to like bring people, like how it just kept building, and I think in a lot of ways how it got people reading more,
Yeah.
and like it reminded me of Harry Potter. Like that really did a lot for just literature. It's like the fandom of books and in this long epic story, and then also what it did for television. brought it to this like it was one of the shows I think responsible for bringing that cinematic quality and funding. I think like Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, and several other these like House of Cards you could maybe argue, and several other shows and other services started being like, no, you can do like Oscar caliber, like drama caliber stuff on TV, and it stopped becoming like this trope that you could do like serious or impactful stuff that if it was on TV. And I think that was really cool. And I'm like, I love everything that's come from it. So, it's
Nice.
top 3 for that, not for the season finale or series finale.
My top or my number 3. This is one that I mentioned for other TV shows. It's an anime. That Time I Reincarnated as a Slime did come out this year, 2019. Only one season. I think if it was more than that, with its consistency, I would have put it number 1. But because it's just one season, I don't feel like it deserves number 1 spot so far. But yeah, really enjoyable. Plan on getting a tattoo for me. So, my number 3.
My number 3. Haven't seen a lot of the episodes. Black Mirror, only because of one episode. San Junipero. That was the note that I couldn't read. I put Junie. I was like, what the fuck is Junie? So San Junipero is one of the, I don't know. I think that fucking script is just very tight. Not Parasite tight, but it's good. I liked it. Even though some people say it's a bad ending.
I'm sorry that I overplayed it for you and ruined it.
It's fine.
So, right,
It was good. It was honestly, because of the way the show was, it was such a refreshing difference. It just in the sense of how it was painting a bleak kind of situation, but also had like uplifting elements to it. Like regardless of how you feel about how like high or low it is, I think that's something of an accomplishment and really good. Like that story was.
It's one of the few before like this new season where it had like a dark side to it, but I feel like it ends in a happy note as well.
Possibly, but I agree that it has a hopeful outlook. I don't think it was positive, but
What? They're happy together.
Forever.
in a flash drive.
That's the whole point of the thing. Like, would you rather?
I know.
end your life?
That larger part of it hangs over that
Yeah,
part of it for me.
okay.
But I understand what you're saying. I agree.
They
I
chose that life, so it's happy for
Okay,
them,
and I'm happy for them.
but not happy for yourself.
I didn't feel happy. Yeah, I'm happy for them. I didn't feel it.
So this is number 3. What's
My number 2. This is tough. I'm trying to like wrestle with my number 2.
Well, now I can go with my number 2.
No, I got it.
I know what your top 2 is.
Don't ruin it.
Fargo is one of them.
It's one of them.
He's like, he's not even on this list.
I know, right? Like,
he's
fuck,
like,
I forgot to put this. I forgot to put Fargo.
No, I'm gonna say for number 2.
So number 3 was Fargo, and number 2 is.
I'm gonna say number 2 is Barry.
Ooh.
Oh wow!
It's tough. Like I have a lot of honorable mentions,
Yeah.
and any one of them could fit this whole list. But
Yeah.
like Barry, I don't know. I'm trying to like rationalize it as I'm talking here. It's so tight and it's brief, but like it felt impactful. Like this guy's wants to live a life. He's built off of another life that he has, which is so dark, and he feels ashamed of it, and he's hiding it, and he's trying to like wrestle with it, and then like. It's like he wants to let go of it, but he keeps getting pulled back into it. And it has elements of like Breaking Bad in it, but like it has this dark sense of humor to it that like you want to laugh, but at the same time you want to cry.
Right.
And but like when you and then the cast is great, and like everyone, like the layers to it, like he's going through something, but he's channeling it, and he's becoming an actor as he's doing it, and he's like channeling these like intense feelings and trying to like. Everyone else is like, wow, that performance, and he's like, I'm literally feeling the trauma of something I went through in war, because he was a military, and I think he was honorably discharged. I forget, but it shows like flashbacks of him and he's like reliving some stuff, and like it's dark, but yeah, that's my number 2.
Okay. So my number 2. Before I say that though, when did Dexter come out? Well, it's not on my list.
Last episode is 2010. So
So we're good. No, so my number 2 is actually one that I didn't realize, and I thought I hadn't even mentioned it. It's Game of Thrones. is my number 2.
Oh, you hadn't mentioned it.
I hadn't
okay.
mentioned it.
Okay.
Because it was part of my top 3. I didn't have it in order, so I was just trying to remember what I had. Yeah, Game of Thrones is, dude, at least for me specifically, it's something that got me into like what I consider like the group classic watch parties. You know, like, dude, for every season finale, like I went to someone's place to watch. You know, like I never watched the season finale on my own. And even for episodes, like, during watching, like, I'll be texting someone and be like, dude, this is crazy. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Or like everyone at
the
the
same thing?
after Sunday would be like, did everyone watch it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and that it's something that I really enjoyed. Like that, just the aspect as well is having that, being able to talk with someone and having everyone's thoughts and seeing how these
Talking about favorite characters,
yeah.
favorite moments.
how we think the show's gonna flesh out.
Yeah.
Didn't turn out anywhere near that.
We got this.
But yeah, Game of Thrones number 2 for me.
Number 2 is unfair for me because I didn't watch season 2. Atlanta. There's an episode in season 1 where it's kind of like Parasite, rich versus poor, like the rich versus poor mentality. I'm like, fuck, dude, that's such a good episode, dude. And the only thing I've seen from season 2 is a clip of the Michael Jackson episode. It's a horror episode, and I was like, fuck. The way he constructed the shot, the director, and I was like, fucking genius. He made the guy, Knives Out, the black actor, Lakeith something. He made him dress up like Jack Torrance from The Shining. I was like, everything about it was shot like a horror film. I was like, Atlanta. I wish I could see season 2. Please put it on Netflix, please. It's on FX.
Nice. And then numero.
You got it. Fargo.
Calling shit out, dude.
No, it was good. I mean, the thing is, it was this or Watchmen.
Okay.
And for me, the thing with Fargo is Watchmen is great. I'm not knocking it. It was fantastic. I'm worried that I'm too biased, that it's too recent.
It's too
But I
recent,
feel
exactly.
confident about my Fargo choice, so I'm going with Fargo. Each season balances this story and this humor and this darkness and these characters and this weight of everything they're going through, and like it's such a concise story. The third season is like the final dialogue between two characters. Professor Lupin, the actor that plays him, I never thought of. I always like, you're Professor Lupin. You're one of the best people on earth. You're always going to be that. I don't like. No one will make me think of you as a bad person. He's fucking evil, and like the way it's not in a like a really outlandish kind of way. It's just in this oozy, disgusting way. And he has a philosophy, and this other character has another philosophy, and it's very poignant to like a lot of things that have been going on since that episode, the third season, which I think was a year or two ago. And it's just so relevant to like what is truth and whether or not it matters. And like that was like a big point of that third season. And the other seasons were great in different ways, but like it captures eeriness with weirdness and darkness and comedy in such a good, it's a balance. The director Noah Hawley, he did Legion as well, which is another one of my favorites. And like, I think the way he presents a story and tells a narrative is very, very captivating.
Nice.
Cast for every season has been great. Like second season, Crack Damon is
Correct.
Meth Damon.
Jesse.
Sorry, yeah,
Or, no, I think his real name is Jesse Plemons or
Yeah.
something like that.
he's fantastic in that season. In season one, Bilbo Baggins from the Hobbit movies. Forget his name.
Freeman or no?
I forget.
Martin
Yeah, Martin Freeman.
Freeman.
He's fantastic. Billy Bob Thornton's in that season.
Ewan McGregor's in.
Ian McGregor's in the third season as him as twin brothers. And then Lupin's in that season, and some other Nora, I forget. She's from Leftovers. Several, like just fantastic casts. So great show.
Nice. My numero uno is another animated show, Legend of Korra. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. From my understanding is they went through like trouble too. Like they were like, you're getting canceled, and they're
After
like,
during the first season, so they had to write the show to an ending.
yeah.
And then they picked things up and they're like, what?
Exactly.
And then it was rocky. I remember
Yeah.
people being like, season 2's not that good. There's an episode in season 2, one of my favorite episodes. It's the history of the Avatar. That was when it turned for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, this show has got it again.
Yeah, they do. They have like, I think as a, like it's strange to say. I think as a series, it's hard to say like overall. But I think when you look at individual episodes, they do a great job. And I think it has to do with the fact that like they thought they were gonna get canceled. They're making shit like those episodes like as if it's their last. And it like for me it worked out. Like I really enjoyed it. It was really good.
And I love also. I want to add to that is that where it's like in Avatar the show, benders are everywhere. It's just common. In this, it's like industrialization starts happening, and benders become more like outlawed, and there's shame, and there's like all these things that come into it of like whether it's acceptable or not in certain areas or not, and then like I think it deals because the characters in that show are more adult, like they're young adults. It deals with a lot of other complexities that come with like social, encounters and things. And each season kind of like when I look back at it, captures. It looks like different elements. It's like the first one wrestles with one subject, the second one wrestles with chaos, and the third one wrestles with like making sense of things. And it's such a good show.
And then balance after that, dude. Yeah, really good show. My number 1 for the decade.
My number 1, more than half of it was in this decade. So it started in 2008. Breaking Bad.
Easy. Goddamn right.
Easy. People argue that it's the best show ever made. I think it's the second best show ever made. The Wire is number 1, but that was the last decade. So Breaking Bad, dude, that's like a near perfect show, and it's crazy because like they could have ended it in season 4, and they continued it like after.
So 9 out of 10.
So season 4 is actually when the first major character died.
Season 4?
Ding, 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 ding. Major character. That's I.
Is that the turtle? The head on the turtle?
I would say season 2.
Who?
Jesse's.
She's not major though. I don't know. That's what people always say that.
Okay, I mean, I could see your point. Yeah,
But they could have ended in season 4.
Yeah, they could have.
And
I thought it was perfect the way 4 ended.
dude,
I was like, damn, he got away.
yeah.
But yeah, it kept going.
Won. Wait, you brought a bomb to a hospital?
That the walk away where he's like,
Oh my god. Yeah. Breaking Bad.
fantastic show.
Definitely. Really good show.
Some great shows. Let's move on to some great movies. All right, same format. This is tough because I didn't put any of this shit in
Yeah,
order.
I'm trying to like just.
I'm
at
like,
least do my
wait,
top 3 right now.
fuck. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Okay. What We Do in the Shadows, 2014. Love that movie. Fucking hilarious. I've said it many times. I'll say it again. It's like the perfect. It holds up for me in terms of comedy. The second one, number 9, Blade Runner 2049. I thought like it didn't have to be called Blade Runner in a lot of ways for me. Like it could have been its own sci-fi thing, and the director and everything just like captured this vibe, but like made it feel fresh and new. It didn't feel. I don't know. It was just so good. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just it was so good that it like the music captured me, the tone captured me, the setting, the set pieces, everything was beautiful. It's 2, 3. Go with The Expendables.
Ooh.
The first one, 2010. And this is on my list because for a long time leading up to that, I felt like action movies were like changing to something I don't like anymore.
Yeah.
And I felt like this movie was like a nostalgia of like, let's remember the 80s. And in a lot of ways it is. It's like all these old actors coming back, but making like this ultimate action team. It felt meta in a lot of ways because I was like, man, like just everyone's just like, we're recognizing what we've done in the past without saying it. But like seeing that cast together. But like there's like a scene where there's like this pretty boy playing basketball and he's very abusive to this girl that Jason Statham is used to see. And he hears about it and he goes and beats the shit out of him. I was like, that to me was like real action hero beating the shit out of like this fake action hero that like, so I don't know. And then the rated R vibe of it like was just made it like, let it be what it should be. Like it wasn't anything holding it back, and I love that about it. That's 3. Yeah. 4 is Whiplash.
Oh.
This movie, like, it I know a lot of people looked at Black Swan as this intense, like, focus on a character. I think a good complement to Black Swan is Whiplash, and it follows this character, like, wanting to go to school to be the best drummer he can be. Mm-hmm. And he gets this teacher who is known for being the best teacher, but it's at a cost, and it's this, like, insane intensity that he brings to his teaching, and, like, not everyone's cut out for that. And he pushes this kid, and this kid pushes back, and it's just this dance these two characters have. And the final scene is one of my favorite final scenes of all time. It's just this, like, performance. Have you guys ever seen Whiplash?
No.
Mm-mm.
Oh fuck! I need to.
But I've seen, like, did it become created from just a scene that they made, or was that scene?
It was a short film, and I think
from there is what I've seen.
Yeah, from there they made the full feature film,
Okay.
and the main guy learned how to like he was drumming in a lot of this stuff. I was like, what? And, like, what happens is throughout the story, the teacher, like, gets reported for his intense ways of teaching, and he ends up, like, having to leave. And then the kid kind of, like, is like, I can't do this anymore. I have to just be a regular student again. And he kind of gives up the music. And then it's, like, way later, and he runs into him at a club, and he's like, yeah, I play at this club now. Hey, I'm short a guy for this performance. I remember you used to be amazing. And he's like, you're way too chill. Like, and he's like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, I would love to. Like, I'm glad we could finally, like, be cool with each other. Like, we're not at odds.
Yeah.
And he gets ready, he goes to the performance. And then he realizes he's been set up by that teacher. Because this teacher's like, I know it was you that, like, reported me. Damn. And he's on stage, and he's fucking up everything up. He doesn't know how to play, and, like, it's evident. All the cast members looking at him, the audience. It's like the fucking, like, Chicago like theater, and, like, he's like, I've been defeated, shamed, and he's, like, walking off stage, and then, like, at the moment, he's just like, you know what? Fuck him, and, like, it's this moment where he just, like, it triggers from, like, surrender to, like, fuck you, I'm coming, like, this isn't over. He goes back up, and, like, through music, not even through talking or anything, he steers the group and everyone. He, like, blasts at first, but, like, because of how talented and amazing he was, he just plays some amazing shit. And then the guy tried to, like, stop him, but he can't because they're all keeping it cool on stage, and he's just playing music, and the teacher's like, how do I stop him? Then he's like playing the music, and then the rest he's like trying to, like, cue people through his music to get other people to, like, build off of it and go to something that everyone knows. It builds and it builds. And as the teacher's watching in anger, he slowly gets like, this is fucking good. And he's like, I can work with this. And they, like, start, like, getting together. And, like, at first he's like, oh, we're working together. And then the kid's like, no, fuck this. I'm taking it higher. And he just keeps going. And you're like, how is this going for as long as, like, it takes a lot of energy for him to play at that speed and that level. And it's just like, there's no talking at all in this scene. It's intense and it's beautiful.
Nice.
And I'm like, that put it on my, sorry, I went a little right.
That should have been number 1.
No, I have my number 1. Then that's 4, so 3 more. I have Creed 2. Ooh. I love what they did with the Rocky franchise, and I think that recaptured a lot of the magic in many ways. 2 more. Parasite. I think it's very poignant in a lot of ways.
That number 1.
For a lot of the reasons I mentioned in episode 150, please check that out. Brought to you by Thirsty. And then 6, Sorry to Bother You, for a lot of the same reasons. I think it was a lot of commentary on class, on culture, it was more exaggerated. I think Parasite was very subtle in its story, in those symbolisms and metaphors. I think Sorry to Bother You was very outlandish and weird with it. And I like them both for those, like, they're tackling this and making it more common to, like, talk about these things that we're dealing with. Like, I thought Sorry to Bother You was going to be about slavery and racism, and it has that, but it's about slavery of the working man, of the working class. And I'm like, holy fuck, we're like, this is a lifelong slavery that's on a larger scale than any of us think. And I was like, whoa. Like, it contextualized it in a way that, like, blew me away. And horses.
Yeah. I think that might have been it. No.
That was 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
You want to count it real quick? Because you said
1,
3, and then
2,
I thought you said 3.
4.
So far.
No, it's 7. You're right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cool.
That's my top 7.
Cool.
Before
Did
we
you
go
wanna
top 3.
Do you have it, or you want me to
No,
go?
I have it. Number 10, Irishman. Scorsese. The ending. I don't think I've ever seen a film where the ending made me
Yeah.
like the fucking film.
That's what I'm saying.
Like turned you so much?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's powerful.
Number 9, Drive.
That soundtrack.
Nicholas Winding Refn, his modern take version of a fairy tale. Number 8, the pure action film, the purest of pure action film, The Raid. That's my number 8.
I was about to be like, what are you about to put in that spot?
John Wick.
We about to jump in here.
The Raid. If you wanted to just see just action, balls to the walls.
I apparently had seen The Raid 2 and never fucking knew it was The Raid 2.
You haven't seen The Raid?
No, I bought it like on Blu-ray, the 1 and 2. I had seen 2. I don't know the fuck I saw 2, but I saw 2. Raid 2 specifically.
I didn't like the Raid 2, but
like
the Raid 1 was fucking
Yeah.
great.
The Raid 1 is the pure one. The Raid 2 has those elements, but yeah, it's kind of like not.
I just didn't know.
The reason why I didn't like the Raid 2 is because like at the end of Raid 1, it kind of showcased the brother versus brother. There's a shot where they're walking by each other, and in the second fucking scene of the film in part 2, they just kill the brother. It's like, what the fuck is this? Zero investment, dude.
Went a different route with the story.
Number 7, the best superhero movie made of all time, Into the Spider-Verse.
Best Spider-Man movie of all time. Shadow?
Number 6, I wish I could have put The Dark Knight, but it didn't come out in 2010. So I put The Dark Knight.
2008, right?
Yeah, I put The Dark Knight Rises, 2012. Beautiful ending, like where it shows Catwoman with the pearls. And
where Alfred
Michael
sees him?
Caine is just sipping tea and he just sees him. I was like, damn, that's a good ending.
My favorite part in that movie was when Gordon is talking to Batman before he gets in the plane, and then Batman's like,
not everyone's a hero. I don't know.
some people are heroes by just putting a coat on a little kid. And I was like, fucking deep
And then
cut. I was like, oh.
Sirius Black was like,
That guy, this is a perfect Gordon.
number 5 is also a Christopher Nolan film. It came out in 2010. Inception.
Inception.
I like the ending for that film. as
Okay.
well.
Interstellar was good too.
Yeah,
Did you guys
it
see
was good.
Dunkirk?
No, I
No.
didn't.
Actually, I did. I saw that on fucking IMAX.
Yeah.
Or the Dolby Atmos.
Yeah.
The fucking the block. Dude.
Okay.
My number 4 is Get Out. It's such a fresh take. Comedian Jordan Peele turned into horror director.
It's good. It's real good. That's it. Okay, so I technically have 11 on my list, and I could not fucking
Piece of
figure
shit.
out to delete one. So I'm just gonna go up to number 8, and then from there I got top 3. So
One upper.
I've got Inception.
Okay.
Fantastic movie. I feel like they just at the time it's a different route. Like it's crazy what they did with that one.
I think after Dark Knight films, they're like, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
and
Like,
I'm glad if that's the case, and they gave him like reins. I'm glad he was able to get what he
it's
wanted.
like, you want 8 IMAX cameras, 8 countries to work in? Fucking,
Here's 16.
Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer for Tenet, but
I saw it. I am excited for this.
And then
Time
these are
travel
also in no way in order between these.
Denzel's son, by the way, in Tenet.
oh wow.
He was in Black Klansman.
I didn't watch the film.
Oh, okay,
so.
but I realized then that was Denzel's son. I was like, oh, I see it.
That's
Like
funny.
he talks. He has a cadence of speech very similar.
That's funny.
So not particular order.
I've got number. My next one up. I got Get Out. Fantastic movie. Number 3 on my list here. I have Ex Machina. Fucking love that shit. I'm
I love
just a
the dance
fan.
scene.
Yeah, dude. That's just like it's just a creepy ass scene where like. There's like before that you're like this guy's about to get caught with what he's trying to do, and it's just like a casual. No, it's just dance, dude. It's just.
What's
groovy.
crazy to me is like that movie makes me think of Black Mirror, and Black Mirror makes me think of that movie. Like this eerie line that they dance with technology.
Yeah, what they're doing is I forgot the term for it, but they're trying to see if they can get the machine to trick the human into thinking like it now has its own mind,
Yeah.
or it's a real human essentially. And that's, I mean, I'm just so into technology. Like, this is just a really cool concept for me. Number 4 that I have on here, Interstellar.
Fantastic movie.
Fantastic fucking cinematography. Love that shit. And And then the way I like the fact that they're saying that they depict the black hole the way like they all think it should work
Visually.
yeah.
Like I
it's
remember
really
there was
cool.
patents made based on like the visual interpretation of it,
Yeah.
and how
So,
light would refract and all that
That's so
stuff.
cool that they're able to like use this movie to also depict science and stuff. Number 5 that I got on here is Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
They went a whole new route with this movie and it worked. It worked fantastic, dude. And I know that they're making a second one. I hope they don't fucking fill it. Number 6 that I have on here is The Grand Budapest. Really, really good movie. I didn't delete this one. I don't have 8, so I do have 7.
So one more.
Grand Budapest is
That's
it's
6,
just-
right?
Yeah, it's number 6.
That movie was good. Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Great comedy, and I just like the shots that he has. He has like those awkward pauses, and like that's what makes it so like quirky and stuff. I love that.
Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
He's great in that movie, and William Dafoe.
Yeah. And then my number 7 is Blade Runner 2049, and this goes back to me loving technology, me loving like this grungy world that they put. There's a scene where like he looks at an ad and the ad like goes down to him and like talks. And I'm like, this is fuck, dude. I want this shit.
The sex scene was trippy as
dude.
balls.
And I was watching Corridor Digital. They did they do breakdowns on CGI, and they're talking about how they fucking like what they did to have like that sex scene, like how they're trying to match the hologram with the person to make it seem like it's the real person there. What they did that on a computer point was fantastic, dude, and I love it. And that's number 7 for me. And now I guess we're all on top 3. Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
And I fucked up.
Because you said your top 3?
Because I said my third one, which was Ex Machina. I was trying to put them up to the top, and then I didn't realize I didn't delete them. Yeah, Ex Machina is my number 3.
My number 3 is Pacific Rim.
Ooh.
That was like my childhood dream made into real life. Like seeing like a brand new, like all this stuff I wanted of Power Rangers, all this stuff I wanted of Godzilla, all this stuff I wanted of mech stuff. I was like, this is all of it. And
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro making it. And like the cast, Idris Elba, Charlie Hunnam, Ron Perlman, like this Charlie Day, like this cast was perfect. It was great. I love it.
And Charlie Day was pretty much himself.
Yeah, but like it just had all the stuff I wanted out of those movies, and it had all the different countries, and it's like G Gundam in a lot of ways, where it's like Russia and China and,
Yeah.
and America and all these. It was so good. I love it. The music, the theme.
Number 3, Quentin Tarantino. He's in 2 of 2.
I think I know.
Once Upon a Time.
Oh, One Spot.
Yeah. Yeah, you know my number 2 then. Well, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Was number 3.
Yeah. It makes me want to see a Quentin Tarantino because there's a scene that's very tense, and I was like, damn, I want him to make a horror film. I mean, I guess that is a horror film, a little bit like action,
Yeah.
comedy, horror, but I want to make him see a pure horror film.
That's crazy.
My number 2 on this list is one that
You're
was
number
in-
3. Oh no, you went first. You're right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
My number 2 on this list is one that was in my 2019 best. It's Parasite, dude. Number 2 is not the best, you know,
I thought you didn't like it,
but
though.
it's good.
we have the
Number one's
receipts.
Joker. Number 1 is Joker.
It's I. No, dude. For what it is, I think it's a really good film. I think that's what's weird about it. Like for me, because I'm always about like action and stuff like that. I think it breaks that barrier for me. So when I review it or when I think of it like on a first hand basis, like really thinking about it, I'll say it's a good movie. But when you like look into this and what it really tells you, I think it's a great movie. So number 2.
My number 2, Paddington 2.
Kojima.
It's just
And number
pure,
1,
unadulterated, genuine happiness, I think, and it takes like this kids thing, and it has a very sincere heart, and I love that. Like, I feel like it's very accessible to kids and it's very accessible to adults, and a lot of the silliness and goofiness, it's like a capture. Like, I think it was in a lot of ways what that recent movie with Ian McGregor, Christopher Robin was like growing up, but still like staying true to like your youth and your innocence.
Yeah.
I think Paddington captured it really well, and it just made me so happy.
My number 2 is a Tarantino film. Can you guess what it is? Because you said
The one where he breaks a guitar.
is it someone who's unchained?
Yes, Django Unchained. I don't like it. I think it's a story of what's his name? Dr. Schultz in the movie. I think it's a story more for him than Django himself. Because like during the whole film, he's capturing murderers, you know, the worst criminals, but like slavery was legal back then. And there's a moment where he realizes, holy shit, this guy's worse than every single person I've come across. And that's when he decides to shoot him when he does the handshake thing. Spoilers, I'm sorry. I know you're number one though, I think. I'm just in sync, dude.
He loves to catch.
I know.
Or to
I know you.
guess.
Are their initials Eminem? Oh wow, it's not Mad Max. Okay, what? Shit. Wow.
So my number one is Phantom Thread. This was, dude, holy shit, dude. I'm so glad I watched this movie. And it was just like on a whim too. Like I had to look it up, and it's only showing up in LA. It's one of those like, you know, small time movies that isn't being released worldwide. Dude, it's such a great movie. The whole concept is this guy has his business of making clothes. But he has like a hard shell over himself that stops him from like being with anyone or doing anything. It's just all about business. And then he meets someone, and he kind of like opens the shell a little bit, but it never fully opens. And what ends up happening is she like poisons the guy, and he becomes like an infant. He's like, please take care of me. And it reminds him of like when his mom took care of him. So and he finds out that she's doing this, and he allows it to happen. It's kind of like a back and forth. Like he eventually stops being sick. They start fighting again, and it starts all over again. Like she's like, all right, I'll make you your special meal. And like that's just how their whole relationship is at some point. But like most of the movie is before this, and like it gets to the end, you realize like this is what's been happening, and like it ends with like them fighting, and he's like, all right, well, I'll make you your special meal. And they sit down. They're both like extremely happy right before they're about to eat this fucking meal. And I'm like, this is some intense shit, dude. It's such a great movie. And like the acting displayed in this, dude, they have like an actress I've never seen before, and she fucking kills it. They have obviously Daniel Day-Lewis, murders the fucking acting in this shit.
His last film. He retired.
Overall,
That's
an
his last
amazing fucking film.
I heard Daniel Day-Lewis was so impressed with Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems that he called him up to discuss.
That's crazy. Yeah, I want to see Uncut
I need to
Gems.
see Uncut Gems.
I know. Did you hear what Adam Sandler said? He's like, if I don't win, I'm purposefully making shitty movies
Wow.
after this to
Razzies.
punish everyone.
Wow.
Damn.
He's like, I'm gonna go
The
for
Razzies. Number one.
number one.
He's like, you're right. It's Mad Max.
That's all I like. What do you think of it?
I have no clue, dude. I'm not in sync with
Well,
you.
my number one, is it the same? Parasite? Oh.
He said Parasite in his regular.
Oh shit, you're right.
It's a movie you said already though.
Fargo.
Interstellar?
No, it's pure, unadulterated action.
Action.
Raid 2? John
So
Wick.
I'm taking
Right.
John Wick.
no.
He's just trolling at this point.
I'm copping out. I'm saying Raid 1 and 2.
Oh.
Cheater.
They give me the same feeling, but if I mean, I could just say 1
Yeah.
because you need to see 1 to see 2.
Yeah.
I have never like looking at this list and reminding myself how they made me feel when seeing them. No movie made me feel like just my heart. It was like I had just done a 5K. I was like my heart was pumping. I was going nuts in my seat. I was like audible.
Yeah.
Holy like.
No movie has a
It
real
felt like
boss
a
fight.
goddamn drug. Like I was just like, holy fuck! Like the fucking pipe, and like he still goes, and like all this other shit. I was like,
Mad
holy-
Dog.
Mad Dog. Like oh god, like, and it was an accident to see this movie. We were gonna go see this other movie with Guy Pearce as an action hero in a space station.
Oh, I know what movie you're talking about. It's
Fucking
Lockout.
I don't know what it's
It
called.
wasn't bad, but we went to go see that, and then one of my friends was like, "Oh, they're playing this movie. Have you guys? I thought we watched the trailer for this." I'm like, "Yeah, if everyone wants to see it, we'll see it." We get like, "Holy fuck!" We get out of here like, "That movie was so fucking. I want to punch something." Like, nothing has made me feel that way since. And then when Raid 2 got announced, I'm like, opening day. I don't care where, how, what. I'm seeing this fucking movie.
I just remember in the first one, the broken door where he like kind of like
The trailer?
makes him land on him. Everyone's like, "Oh!" in the theater.
Yeah, the machete guys, the fucking fight between Mad Dog and the captain.
Yeah, no movie has ever had a boss fight, dude. It's just insane. It's crazy.
That guy that plays Mad Dog has trained security personnel for presidents in the Eastern Asia area. Like he's legit.
Yeah.
Everyone in that crew
Everyone
is
can fight.
everyone is legit.
All those actors can fight. Holy shit.
It
Which is why it makes
and
it
it's just
amazing.
like once the first 10 minutes, like when they're in, it's just go.
Yeah,
like
it's just
nonstop.
Like fucking pedal to the metal, just all action all the time, dude.
I mean, honorable mention Ong Bak. Like,
Ong Bak, I don't think it was the.
yeah, it wasn't like.
But I love that movie too. I agree. The second one I love. It is slower, but that final fight, like the build of the fight, it was like a song to me. Like it has a slow build. Like they're just going back and forth. He's kind of kicking his ass, and then they like crank it up, and it's just. It's like it feels like their blood is boiling. It's
Yeah.
so good. So, I love them. I want a third one so bad. And I mean, technically, one of my honorable mentions was The Night Comes for Us. Very much in the same vein, but much more gory.
Yeah.
But yeah, those two just perfect. But I've never recommended a movie more. I think Redline might be the follow up, but yeah. Right.
I've seen both your recommendations, so I gotta say, Redemption, and then the one you just said, the Redline.
Redline.
You already know my number one. Do we need to say it? My Twitter account is
Is
fan
unofficial.
account. Yeah, it's a Stans account. Parasite, unpredictable.
We stand.
It's a near perfect film. That what more can be said?
9 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
You said near perfect. It can't be perfect. Dude.
9.9 out of 10. Parasite, watch it. It's gonna win the Oscar. Best Picture. Watch.
It should. Honest to God. Like,
It's gonna be like what happened in the recent awards where they were like,
Sekiro?
in a movie thing, they were like, this movie wins, and it was technically Moonlight.
Oh, it's like
Oh.
La La Land didn't win.
Yeah.
It's Moonlight. Steve
Fucking don't
Harvey's
have
like,
don't have Warren Beatty read the fucking card.
Dude.
all right,
Or
guys.
Steve Harvey.
Games.
Games.
Let's go.
Do you want to do this like all 10 for each individual, or you want to do the same thing?
Same
Like
thing.
7. Okay.
Fuck, this is my least organized one.
Then I'll start. We'll change it up a little bit. Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
All right. So my number 10 for game of the decade. This game came out in 2018. God of War. God of War. It's one of the few games I planned them. I feel bad. Like, I enjoyed the game, but I was rushing it because I wanted to play fucking Legend of Zelda.
Breath of the Wild?
Breath of the Wild, yes.
No, Horizon was one.
No, but Horizon wasn't also the one I wanted to play because I also played that too quickly as well, all for another game. But God of War, still like they did a fantastic job, dude. Like the boss fights, dude. The Valkyrie fucking fights to date, I still like one of my fucking favorite fights, dude. Such amazing fucking mechanics and everything, dude. My number 9. So this one is where it gets a little weird. Where I told you. So originally it was League of Legends, but that originally came out in October 2009. So that's still within the decade of 2009, 2019. In its placement, I had Red Dead Redemption, but since that's no longer the case, League of Legends is in here for me. And I have this because, dude, this is like genre-defining game. You know, like it's like it's not the first of its kind. It defined it though, and it's created, other games that are trying to mimic the same thing, and nothing gets near this. League of Legends for me, October 2009 is when it came out. Number 8 for me, The Witcher 3. Ooh. This came out May 2015. This game I've bought in like 4 fucking times, twice on PS4. I bought the physical copy, then the complete edition, and then I got the complete edition on PC, and I know I bought it somewhere else, I don't know where, but Witcher 3, fantastic game. I fucking get lost in side quests. There's a joke that the side quests are all included in the fucking in the show. Really good. Number 7. Now this is another one where I feel like it's part of a trilogy, something that's been going on for a while. Smash Bros. This is obviously Ultimate. Came out December 2018. I mean, this shit brings friends together, causes friends to fight, beat the shit out of each other, take off their Santa Claus hats. This is
Bald is
insane.
beautiful.
My number 6 is one of your all-time favorites, I'm sure it's somewhere in there. Came out September 2014. It's the Raid. It's Destiny. But this is the original Destiny for me.
It's where it all
American
began.
Monster Hunter.
It's literally where it all began. Like, I know that I never got tired of the original Destiny. Like, this was fantastic. It did
Trials.
it did get slower, but then, dude, they revamped the shit out of it when it came out with Return of the King, or
Taken
some shit?
King.
Return of the Taken King. That was something. It was really good, dude. This is where we got fucking loot caves, and this is where we got.
This is when I got into WoW. Like essentially, like that was my WoW.
Blizzard.
yeah. This is like.
Activision and Blizzard, like
I'm not sure about this, but this is what I feel like. That this is another genre defining, like a shooter looter. These guys didn't perfect it, but they made it fucking good. They made it really good. And then I've got my number 4, and this is the last one before my top 3. This one is also a genre defining one. This one probably should have been my top 3, but whatever. Dark Souls. This one came out September 2011. And this obviously, there's been games that have been, you would now describe as Dark Souls-like before Dark Souls. But again, the genre defining, and now everything is based off of this fucking game, or compared to this game. This game created fucking others of its kind that have been fantastic, that have been on people's top 10
Shout out to
lists
Neo.
as well. Oh, yeah.
Jang's favorite game.
Yeah, and those are my top
7.
7 so far.
My last 2 on the list is not for me. It's more like a global impact.
Yeah.
Number 10, Pokemon Go. When that came out, it was a fucking frenzy. My phone couldn't handle it, so I didn't.
You've never sent me a gift or opened a gift. I have still kept you there. You are my lowest friend in Pokemon Go. And that's why he doesn't call me his best friend, is because we're not
Yes.
best friends in Pokemon
Right.
Go.
You fucked
dude,
up. It's your
Pokemon
fault.
I
Go.
fucked up, apparently.
Dude, it was such a phenomenon, dude. When that
I mean,
first-
of the decade, I want to shout out
Phenomenon.
that one of the best like cultural moments was when this game came out. Seeing people I've never seen play Pokemon, just at restaurants, like, look at it, bing, like.
Number 9, I never played it. It's crazy that it made a comeback in 2019. Minecraft. Yeah, huge.
Huge.
Number 8, The Last of Us. Great storytelling.
Number 8.
Yeah, I know. It's
I'm surprised.
I missed Minecraft. It's number 5. I don't know how the fuck you guys didn't catch that.
I didn't catch that.
I skipped fucking from 6 to 4.
Oh, yeah. I think I was correcting something on mine. I didn't catch the number.
So at least I can say it came out November 2011.
Okay.
number 7, Dark Souls. It's weird. Monster Hunter's not on my list. I've kind of like steered towards the Dark Souls. I like my taste in games is more like a Dark Souls.
It's changed.
Yeah.
It's like a
Monster
diet.
Hunter still has a special place in my heart. Honorable mention. Number 6, a good 2 months of my life was taken by this game. Fortnite.
I was gonna say.
It was my
Just
first
2 months?
Fire.
Yeah, it was my
Wow.
first like battle royale, and I just loved the concept of battle royale. It's fucking difficult. Tetris 99 is a better battle royale. Don't at me, but yeah, Fortnite was fun at that moment.
Dude,
2
and-
months of my life.
And that's, I feel like, another genre defining, like, because we had what was
PUBG,
it?
H1Z1,
PUBG before that,
PUBG.
but like these motherfuckers took it to the next level.
And it wasn't even that game.
Yeah.
It was like a horde mode sort
and they
of
mentioned
like.
it at the fucking. They were like, "We made a game. We weren't even." Fucking.
I remember hearing people talking about Fortnite. Like, this has been a game they've been working on for 10 years, and it came out and it was this really kind of like odd, like
they still have it
tower
as the
defense
base
thing.
game, yeah.
And like the way the trees of like difficulty and upgrades worked was very odd and like how it worked. But then they like overnight just pivoted and it just blew up. Like,
Yeah.
holy
I'm
shit.
gonna argue out of the list of games that I have, that's the most culturally impacted
Yeah.
of the last 10 years. Like, just it went into sports.
It's
mainstream.
Pokemon for this generation.
I mean, I would argue League, but that's cool, you know.
Oh, okay.
Don't at me. Okay, Zoomer.
Number 5, Stardew Valley. A lot of time got spent in Stardew. I just love the grind. I don't
2
know.
months.
Number 4, my most played game of the decade, Slay the Spire.
Of the decade?
Yeah. Wait, you know what? No, I've played this more than Bloodborne. I've played this more than Dark Souls.
Wasn't Monster
Maybe
Hunter?
Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter's number one.
You've put like what 800, 700?
Yeah.
At least in one game. That's not even all inclusive,
Monster Hunter's
dude.
probably number one, but okay. I
Not
take that
even
back.
on
It's
Slay
up there. No, it's
Slay
up
the
there.
Spire's
though.
second.
I would have thought the Bloodborne too.
No, I
No?
haven't put that many.
Really? Okay, you're just that good.
Yeah, it's number 4. Yep.
Surprised on Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. dude.
Nah.
How
Or
many
Red
hours
Dead.
is that?
old
I was
game.
surprised.
That's a real-
Well, maybe there's still
It doesn't
I know,
make the
but
list.
you put so many
It doesn't
hours.
make the
in
list.
it.
It doesn't make the
Bully. I'm Bully's gonna be tough for you. All right, number 10, Last of Us.
Ooh, really?
I was a late bloomer to this, and I feel like my awe of Naughty Dog came more with the Uncharted franchise.
If
but-
Last of Us is there, then I know what your number one is. I'm gonna pull a Jang here, but I'm not gonna say it.
Okay, when we get there, you can guess it.
I think I might know. We'll make guesses.
But it was like not just the cinematic quality, but the dramatic quality, the mature kind of level of which AAA games can get to and did get to and have gone since. Walking Dead.
Oh,
That game, the first season brought me to tears.
That's a like
Telltale.
they start like that game started like kind of like a type of game as well.
No, there was games like that before.
Yeah.
But like
The
they,
point and click, like Back to the Future was one of the earlier ones.
but all the ones I can think of are also from the same guy, the same company, isn't it? Like Telltale was
Telltale had done other ones. They just weren't properties that people maybe cared
but
about
Back
as
to the
much.
Future is also Telltale.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, they were. I mean, that genre was here and there, but like they kind of started becoming like
Yeah.
that. But then I think it spawned so many people to do, and people around that time were also going for these narrative stories where it's like more point and click and being able to tell like impactful things
Yeah.
with that. And Walking Dead, that first season was
That's on my to play.
it's a standalone thing. You don't need to know anything of like the comics or the show.
Because like the company went down and they were like, "There's no way to get the games," but
Well,
somehow-
it didn't. It didn't. Like the people came together to
Yeah.
make it, and then now they're doing Wolf Among Us. But I don't know if it's like a new Telltale or it's weird. But I don't know if anyone from the original company are there. You guys are gonna be shocked at this one. Number 8, Pokemon Go.
no.
Okay.
It should have been higher. I'm shocked that it's not.
No, shocked that it's that low. is what I mean.
okay.
I put it that low because of the actual gameplay
The
aspect.
amount of money I spent on this piece.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Shit.
I don't want to talk about it. But I think just the cultural impact it's had on others and on me, and like
Yeah.
within friends. I have photos of all the different memories I've had with this game, being involved in all these different places I've been, and it's been interesting.
Yeah,
It's been
dude,
cool.
yeah. Surprised it's not higher.
I was balancing that, but also I was like, it's the what was the actual game? It's very basic, if nothing at all. Like it's throwing a thing and hope and like a chant. Like it doesn't like engage you in that level. It's like this meta thing.
Hey, but Harry Potter hasn't gotten to that point.
No, it hasn't. It's still going, but it's not at the same level.
Yeah.
Number 7 is a cop out. I just wrote From Software games because they've just like.
That's why I put Dark Souls like that. For me, it's like that's the originator.
But like, I feel like for everyone, yeah, that is the originator. But like, one person's Dark Souls is another person's Bloodborne is another person. Like,
Sekiro.
everyone has
Yeah.
their From Software game, but I feel like them as a company have impacted this
Definitely.
decade so much, and I love what it's done for
I'll
them.
allow it.
That's the only. Well, no, I have another cop out.
Cheater.
Journey.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Journey was a game that like
Still haven't fucking played it, dude.
really.
Good.
Sorry.
You don't be sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm jealous that you get to
It's
experience
cheap.
it for the first time.
I think it's free or cheap. It's really cheap right
Yeah.
now. On
740.
It's just so simple, but so like true and genuine. Number 5 is a cop out. I couldn't pick which Tetris,
Gearbox.
so I picked 99 and Effect.
Shit, I thought that was your number one. Well, there goes that. Woo. Oh, I know your number one. God damn it.
Is it?
Diablo 2. D2.
I love Tetris, and this is like both of them offered something to me that like I'd never thought I'd see with Tetris. One visually and musically, the other one with just the gameplay intensity. My number 4, Breath of the Wild.
Ooh.
Then I don't know what your fucking number one.
No, I know your number one.
God damn.
Diablo 2.
I mean, it's impactful to where games of that ilk are going to go.
Yeah.
Much like how Witcher has been, much like how Skyrim has been. I think it's that just like the freedom to do anything and anything you want
Yeah.
and however you want. Like we all talked about our different paths of doing the story, let alone how we do challenges and things.
Yeah,
like that.
and none of them were very similar.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. And I love that about it. It's like it's it's like the closest to these like Minecrafty kind of like open world games where, but it's with a franchise and an IP that you're like, this is such a huge step in a new direction for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Leaving my top 3.
Oh. All right, so we'll go with the top 3. So my number 3.
Yeah, we go 3.
Yeah,
2,
one
and then-
one each. This game came out September 2013. I mean, this is kind of also like the franchise rather than just a specific game. Grand Theft Auto 5. This is similar to what you were saying with Breath of the Wild. That freedom, dude. Like this offered an insane amount of freedom. Like the things you could fucking do in this game, the places you can go, like and
People
just
you can see.
and it also it's doing like that role playing for fucking Twitch. It's
Oh, yeah.
insane, dude.
It's
Like
huge.
the modding in the community for this shit, like the things that people can do to do that whatever I just said. I forgot the term already.
Role playing,
Role playing.
body.
I'm thinking so far ahead.
You're
kinda
so
like
deep,
just-
bro. You're like, what is his game of the
I'm
year?
so far removed
What is
from what
his
I'm saying.
game? I don't know his number 1 anymore.
Blizzard's like,
But yeah, like, dude, this, it's a really good game. So much content. You could, I wouldn't say you can live off this game, but you can at least,
can.
you could like, I would say a year probably for me
Okay.
before I'm like, I'm never touching this game ever again. That's my number 3.
my number 3, Skyrim. No, I'm just kidding.
Never even played it.
My number 3 is probably the worst looking game on the list. It is the worst looking game, but
Oh.
you don't
One
judge
creator.
it by, you don't always judge it by graphics. I feel like for video games, this is Tim Rogers' number 3 as well. Best soundtrack in video games ever, made by one
Hearts.
man, technically 2. Undertale.
Yep.
Christmas
Just-
game.
It's just so they implement things in this game that I mean I've never played Fallout, so
Any of them?
It's a disservice because you can actually not fight, and I guess in Fallout you can talk your way out of shit too. So it's not a fair judgment, but this is the first time I had to play through a game where I didn't fight, and I was like, damn, implements things that I couldn't fresh to me, but not fresh to other people probably.
Number 3.
My number 3. For the glory of mankind.
Ah.
That's a good one.
Near
Holy
Automata.
And we're getting a sequel. Or number 2 in the series.
I want something from that creator. Near Automata, like, it just shifted my thoughts on like what games can do in a lot of ways that like Kojima has done, in a lot of ways how other developers have done, and like the more I played of it, the more it grabbed me. It was just like quicksand. It was just like the more you do, the more you're sinking into it, and I'm not that type of game was never for me. The style and the things it did and the anime and all that, and it just I don't know what came over me and it was just the right combination of everything and like the meta narratives and like the stories it was telling, the robots, the technology, and it just I was like just take all of it and I will love it. Yeah, I just love it.
Nice.
I love the way it plays with the mechanics. That was what grabbed me at first. Was like, oh, I saw this video describing how it channels through all these different genres, and the part that grabbed me was what it's doing with the story and all this stuff. It was so good. Love it.
So my number 2, a game came out March 2017. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
A fantastic fucking game, dude. I don't understand when it's your fucking.
It was on there. I had to bump. Nier Automata took its place. I was between 3 and 4.
I didn't even put Nier Automata on here, so you're fine, dude.
It's okay for the glory of mankind, dude.
But yeah, dude, like again,
Wakanda forever.
open world, fantastic game. I never thought Nintendo to make this franchise into that type of game, and it fucking works. I love it.
Better on Wii U?
Thank you, Nintendo. So that's worse. So I originally bought it on Wii U, and the reason that I was fighting with God of War is I had bought it for the Switch.
Oh, right. Okay, so you went through to got it now.
Yeah. So all right, that's my number 2.
That's a good pick.
My number 2, Breath of the Wild. It should be my number 1, but Breath of the Wild.
We got the same number one. I'm
It's
pretty sure.
like fucking, I don't know. Like they took Dark Souls, they took free roaming game Grand Theft Auto, and they took like the exploring part was more exciting. I gotta climb this mountain. It's fucking raining. I don't have enough stamina, but
Fuck
yeah,
the
I gotta,
rain.
I got. It's like
The
a
sense
better
of,
version of Death Stranding.
the sense of awe though, like when I first saw like a dragon flying through the sky, I was like, what the fuck?
And then you bust out your camera like, ah.
Or you see that tower, but it's like hard to climb. It's like fuck, man. Yeah.
And then you realize, like, fuck, yeah, tower. And then you finally realize, like, these aren't these towers anymore.
Or you see your first Lino and you start throwing all these.
When you see
Boomerangs
one of the fucking the fortress
Guardians?
the Guardians, I fucking my panic. Fuck
Yeah.
that game, yes, pure awe, like
Like
wonder.
yeah, games wise, it should be my number 1, but it's my number 2.
I want it, like, on a more powerful system so I can crank up graphics, dude.
My number 2,
Number 2.
one of the weirdest games I've ever played. Inside.
I'm glad I held. So I have, like, a
Honorable mention.
honorable mentions. I didn't want to say it because I figured some of them might be
Inside.
within your.
I played this in one sitting, and it was the wildest ride I'd ever been. I thought I knew where it was going to take me. It was like,
It's such a quick game, too.
this
I mean,
might be an
compared-
unfair comparison. I'm just thinking off the
Yeah.
cuff, but it's like Parasite. I thought it was going to be something, and then like it takes a turn, and I'm like, what? And I'm processing it for a long time, and I'm like, it just did it so well.
But did you get the sex toy thing?
Coming in the mail. Literally.
Did you really buy it?
No.
So it's not that it's a sex toy. It's a company that makes
Makes
like
sex
sex dolls or whatever, and they use like their material to
Yeah.
make the fucking.
I'm the
thing.
juggernaut, bitch.
That game like scared me, creeped me out, intrigued me, just so many things. And then I finished and I was like, I don't know what I just did, and I don't know how I feel about it.
So I never finished the real ending, so I'm assuming it's.
That's also pretty interesting too.
Yeah.
It's pretty meta on that part, and that leaves you thinking even more. But like, it was cool.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Number 2.
I know you're number 1.
I think we might have to say our number 1 together, dude. But
I don't think so.
I want you to say it together to not
Okay,
be the
I'm gonna say yeah. I don't think it's the same.
Say it then. My number 1 is Last of Us.
Yeah, I said mine. Mine was
Did
number
you?
8. It was 8.
Oh, because you said it too. I was focusing on what number you said it. So for Last of Us, June 2013 is when it came out.
Blizzard, dude, they're mad.
I know.
Fantastic game.
We'll talk later.
You want me to say fucking classic? Because that's still part of World of Warcraft.
I mean, all the
I went
expansions.
to top class. I mean, what more do you want?
Game came out in like fucking who knows how
But
long.
it's been ongoing.
No, it doesn't make any
Okay.
sense. It didn't start there. I'm not a Jay. No, I'm just kidding.
Last episode of it came out in 2010. So Last of Us.
Last of Us, dude. Holy shit, this game, man. It's still very easily playable. Like it's not like it's aged fantastic, dude. It's like fine wine, man. Like I can't, like in most games you're like, oh, the graphics suck. Like this graphics are still fucking great, dude. It's just overall, dude. And I'm worried that number 2 is just not gonna be a number 1, Sequels just tend to
Hype kills.
It's not that it's hype, but like,
It
yeah,
is.
you think of like how good this one is, and you expect that same, if not better. Like you're giving it higher standards. You want it to be at a better level at this point, and it's just probably not. gonna get
Uncharted
there.
2 was better than Uncharted 1. Yeah.
That's your opinion. Actually, I
4
don't
is
even remember
number
the Uncharted
1.
games. Yeah, Last of Us is my number 1, dude. Fantastic game. And it was a toss up between Breath of the Wild and fucking Last of Us, but Last of Us is still going strong for me, so it's good.
It's good.
My number 1 has given me much headaches. Getting over it. Got him.
I was like, you just played that.
So it's kind of unfair. This should be probably categorized with Dark Souls, my number 7, but Bloodborne is my number 1. I always say if I could stream one game forever, it would be Bloodborne. I don't know. It's something about I prefer parrying than like shields.
You can parry in fucking Dark Souls. You don't have the shield.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. The guns just make it cooler. Cthulhu Mythos makes it cooler. It genuinely creeps me out. That and Death Stranding are the only two games that really creep me out when I see like creatures like in the sky. Like, so Bloodborne. I'm trying to do a Blood Level 4 run,
You
but
see their
it's,
silhouette.
Oh,
I thought you did a Blood Level 4.
I mean, I'm in the progress, but I'm stuck at a boss.
You've been forever, right?
Not
Perpetual.
forever. I probably attempted it 2 days and I stopped. Close. Almost killed it 3 times. Bloodborne. I know you're number 1 though.
I don't.
Diablo 2.
No fucking clue.
Diablo 2.
I'm waiting.
What have I not said?
D2.
I don't know what you haven't said.
D2.
I don't remember him enjoying this game. I mean, like not that he didn't enjoy it, but
Destiny.
Yeah, D2.
oh my god! And I fucking knew it too, but because I said it, I was like, that's off the list. Oh
Destiny.
my god!
The most time spent.
I like.
Fucking no.
It was between what game has made a bigger impact on like how much time I spent playing games, that or Pokemon Go. But this wasn't for number 1 spot. It was just like I was thinking about which one. Destiny has messed with my sleep, has made me change how I play. I've never done a raid. My it's like me going into uncharted waters. I bought a PS4 for Godzilla, and I didn't get it, and I ended up getting Destiny because I was like, I want a Halo substitute. And then that was a fucking rabbit hole I went down, and I've since then not come up.
You've seen the good, the bad.
I've seen everything. Yeah, the dark, the fucking.
You should get the Godzilla game, by the way.
It's expensive. The physical copy of it is expensive.
Also, he's the guy that got all the titles. So.
Every title for 8,000 hours. Slay the Spire. Those are rookie numbers.
That's it.
I did things in games I never thought I would. Like doing the rate, like those rate stuff is not something I do. Like going online, trying to talk to people, coordinating.
Having a Sherpa and still 6 hours plus.
Yeah, like on my day off, just playing it and all this crazy shit. And I gotta give it credit, for things I'm not like now that I've done and I do, and I enjoy it. And it's like this balance. Like I think you've had this struggle with games as a service, but like putting too much of your balance of your life, time management into it, and like sometimes I'll lean too hard into it. Other times I'll be like, I'm not gonna play this for a few months, and it ebbs and flows. But it's always been there, and I think as an impactful game, like what it's done to the industry. So many other, I would say more so than a looter shooter, I would say more so of a games as a service. It's done this thing that everyone's tried to recreate, and everyone's like saying we are learning from other developers, and no one has learned. Like Division said like, hey, we're going to beat Destiny at their game. And then they went through all the same problems Destiny had. And then they're like, oh, fuck, we got to fix these. I'm like, well, who's talking now? Like Anthem tried to do the same thing. Struggled in its own ways, but like some of the journalists interviewing and looking into these stories were saying how the higher ups were like, we want like people in the development team were like, we need to learn from what's come, and so we need to look at Destiny. And the higher ups were like, don't look at those games. We want you to make something. It's like, how do I make something if I don't know what's been made mistakes?
What mistakes were made.
And like Destiny's has learned from other genres. As they've learned from World of Warcraft, they've learned from Diablo. And like where they've taken first person, and again, like I said, games as a service, and through the good and the bad. Like they've done all the wrong things and a lot of the right things, and they've learned from Fortnite as well. And I just think like it's become this thing that's been a through line through games since it's come out, and that's why it's my game of the decade.
Diablo 2. Fucking couldn't figure it out.
Were you gonna say Destiny 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I saw you saying D2.
I had to say D1 because that's where it started.
Okay, yeah.
And that was also.
I forgot it came out in 10 years.
But yeah, that's my PS4. That's what.
and
Trials?
because of that, you don't have a $3,000 Godzilla game.
We don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it.
So. Yeah, I think that's we had some pretty good lists.
Yeah.
Some through compared, similars.
We had a lot of the games were in there, but just different.
Different
Very
spots.
different.
Yeah.
Very different. Some games are just very different.
Did you guys have like honorable mentions?
Oh yeah.
You want to make some shout outs for?
I'm just
Monster Hunter World?
Yeah, I put 4 Ultimate as well.
Yeah.
I put
that was a personal.
Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
period.
it's fair. Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
No.
because that was to me like I don't know where they're gonna take Mario Kart in like 9 or whatever, because it feels like 8 is perfect.
Yeah.
Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, both.
Doom,
Injustice.
Not on my list.
Yeah, Doom.
Nowhere.
Mass Effect 2.
Wolfenstein.
That was one you were saying you haven't played Mass Effect.
Wolfenstein.
They killed the genre. No, not on my list.
Fortnite and The Witcher 3.
Wolfenstein.
So,
Did you ever beat it? No. Hollow Knight,
oh,
Yes.
that's not on my. It should be.
Firewatch. That was another one of the like
Oh.
games that were like point and click. Kind of and Vanquish.
Hey, it's coming back. You can put it on
I
your
know.
list. Dude.
I'm so ready. And Dishonored. That was my last one. I was gonna make a shout out to. But yeah, I think Girlfriend Reviews is doing Dishonored.
Wow.
Exciting.
My honorable mentions: Fortnite for genre defining, Monster Hunter, favorite freaking game, Portal 2 came out in 2011. I had League of Legends, but I put that back in there. Inside 2016, Limbo 2010, both from the same creators, and then I also had Final Fantasy 14: A Realm Reborn. Originally came out in 2010. They was sucked. They redid the whole fucking thing. Came out in 2013, and that's been a great game that people really, really enjoy, and a lot of weeboos on that.
Nice. So there it is. Games of the decade, movies of the decade,
Of a decade,
shows of the decade.
shows of a decade.
We did it, guys. 2020.
We can finally quit.
Fucking
We
2020.
can finally put the podcast
spring.
to rest. Finally put the
Games of
podcast
the.
to-
So is this now going to be annual DLC?
Yes.
I'll see you guys next year.
I'll see you guys next year.
Where can people find you?
They can find me at the Filio 365 on Instagram and the Filio everywhere else.
At the Last Bosses everywhere.
At Kuja Prime. You can find us all at the Weekly DLC. And thank you for being here for another year. Episode 151 episodes. If you're just joining us, thank you for coming along the way. If you've been with us any point earlier than that, it's the beginning, in the middle, anywhere.
Welcome to a journey.
Shout outs to Guillermo. He's one of my viewers. I didn't realize he's listened to almost every single one of our podcasts.
Hey.
Shout out. Hey, dude. Cheers.
Thank you,
Shout outs
Mr.
to,
He's
to
one of my
someone
mods.
else.
Guillermo.
One of my mods.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, Guillermo del Toro.
Gracias,
Dead
señor.
man.
I want to give 2 shout outs real quick. One is to one of my friends, Sam. He listens to a lot of these episodes.
Sam Smith, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
And one of my other friends, John, he is instrumental in our catchphrase that we end every episode.
Yeah.
with.
Oh, is he-
John.
is he-
So you can blame
Which
him.
Jingle
Which one?
Schmidt?
Which guy's the one that talked about Stranger Things season 2 and like
Sam.
You gotta watch season 2.
No, he like made me worry that you guys were gonna. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still. That's my fault. Because. Yeah.
Communicate, just ask.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you both. Thank you to all our viewers. Thank you all. Well, hopefully, the next year will be great. We hope to have many exciting episodes. So. Thank you guys for being co-hosts throughout this whole time.
Podcast is finally over. I'm so glad.
I know. I could sense the tension. We're doing a VH1 special about
Chains of oppression. I'm free.
Well, you can finally work on your other podcast.
Now I got time.
Yeah. But until next year, next decade, we'll
DLC
You later.
next year.